know what the hell she does. Why they even left Canada is beyond me. And, like, she seems to just boss him around and make him do whatever she wants. I mean, why did they even leave Canada and move to South Park anyway?
Stan, are you gonna say something?
You say it. Say what?
Look, Kyle, we just kind of don't care about some dumb prince and his stupid wife.
Well, hello. Don't you dare hide the fact that you just can't get enough of that soundbite cleverly put together by South Park. Let's get this straight. I'm not typically one to celebrate people's misfortune, but as someone who's been in the news business for decades, I cannot resist the temptation to comment on how the South Park comedy show successfully trashed Meghan Markle and her Prince Harry. Without saying anything else, I think we can safely conclude that the couple has fallen from grace. More and more people are starting to see the real Meghan and the real Prince Harry after the Oprah, Netflix, and Spare memoir tell-alls. Those decisions were the beginning of their own undoing. Stay tuned for more on the public dissing and why Meghan is reportedly livid over the South Park roasting. Welcome to True Lies Scandals. Here is where I invite you to subscribe for free to this fastly growing channel. I'm elated that you like the content enough to subscribe and stay in touch. Big shout out to the 350 plus people who subscribed in the past 3 days. Your support keeps encouraging me. Feel free to like, comment, share, email me, follow me on Twitter at True Lies Scandals, or give a gift using the links below. I'll do my best as always to respond to each and every one of you as soon as possible. Now for the why we're here. The producers of the 25-year-old sitcom South Park has effectively popped Harry and Meghan's bubble. They deflated their overinflated egos and left them so upset that they might be gearing up to sue the producers. Well, good luck with that, Harry and Meghan. First and foremost, South Park didn't explicitly name the cartoon characters as Meghan and Harry in the episode. However, fans thought the characters looked identical to the royal couple, even wearing the same clothing. Well, similar clothing. To cover their asses, the producers started the episode with a disclaimer which reads, "All characters and events in this show, even if they're based on real people, are entirely fictional. All celebrity voices are impersonated poorly." Instead of laughing it off the way other famous people who were mocked mercilessly by South Park have, Meghan is reportedly furious at how she was portrayed in the satirical show. According to the New York Post, the Duchess is reportedly, quote-unquote, upset and overwhelmed over how the creators depicted her. In case you missed it, the Duchess was called an quote-unquote Instagram-loving bitch wife and a quote-unquote stupid wife in season 26, episode 2 of the Comedy Central show titled The Worldwide Privacy Tour. If you've been following Harry and Meghan news from the time they left the UK and moved to Canada and then to the US, they said they left on the basis of wanting their privacy. Whether they said it expressly or implied it, that's the message that was sent. But guess what? Have they ever been private? They're always in our friggin' face. In the episode that went viral last week, the 41-year-old wife of Prince Harry, along with Prince Harry himself, were mocked for claiming to want their privacy, although they constantly paraded themselves in public to complain and get attention and sympathy from Americans and the rest of the world who care to listen. So yeah, Meghan is reportedly infuriated. But why? Why should she get mad? Well, the answer may seem obvious, although slightly different for the Duchess of Sussex. Nobody really likes when anyone says anything unfavorable or offensive about them, right? Let's be honest. I don't like it, but guess what? Some people, not me, maybe not you, while some people won't dwell on any favorable thing that someone says about them, there are other people, such as narcissists, who take every single criticism to heart. They even take positive criticism as a slight, or what psychologists call a narcissistic injury. That brings us to the reasons why Meghan is furious at the South Park dissing she received. Number one, narcissistic wounding. And number two, narcissistic rage. I'll explain what these two concepts mean in the context of how the former Suits actress is said to have reacted to the South Park dig. What is narcissistic injury? A narcissistic injury, also known as a narcissistic wound or an ego wound, is a type of emotional distress that devastates the pride and self-worth of a narcissist. The person is left feeling overwhelmed and deeply hurt. Narcissists tend to go through these emotions as an expression of every perceived slight or wrong against their self-image. Narcissists already struggle with poor self-esteem to begin with, but are able to mask their feelings of inferiority by boosting their self-image on the false notion that they are better than everyone else. They also look down on people who they think are lesser than them in the social or have less social or financial status. So what does this have to do with Meghan? Well, it has long been concluded by laymen like myself, psychology experts, and a few psychiatrists that Miss Markle is in fact a malignant narcissist, almost the worst of their kind. Okay, it's after the malignant narcissist, you're moving into psychopathy, the area of psychopathy. People who are psychopaths, who also can be narcissists. Typically they have a lot of narcissistic traits. But she's been identified and labeled as a malignant narcissist. Now, we can't diagnose her as having narcissistic personality disorder in keeping with the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. That would be considered an armchair diagnosis, and the American Psychological Association strictly forbids mental health professionals to armchair diagnose anyone without assessing the patient directly. But I tell you what, it'll be hell or hell to get Meghan or any other narcissistic person to agree to a psych evaluation. They'll go kicking and screaming. That's because narcissists have such huge egos. They truly believe they're the shit and that nothing, absolutely nothing, is wrong with them. In fact, they think you are the one with the problem and that you're the one who's out to get them. At that point, it starts becoming paranoia. The negative attitude and short-sightedness of narcissists backfire on them all the time because despite having a huge ego and a sense of superiority, they suffer from low self-esteem, and you can't fix that for them. They have to want to fix or improve their own self-esteem, and because again they don't think anything is wrong with them, there is no incentive for them to want to do the work to grow and self-develop. Narcissistic people, a narcissist's ego is huge but extremely fragile, so the least of criticisms, put down, or ridicule causes deep emotional wounding and pain called a narcissistic injury. Criticisms also trigger emotions called narcissistic rage. So what is narcissistic rage? And how does that relate to Meghan Markle? Narcissistic rage is a form of intense anger by a narcissist whenever they experience criticism or denial, or a denial of special treatment and admiration. These things cause narcissistic wounding, which shatters their illusion of grandiosity, sense of self-importance, entitlement, and superiority. The narcissistic injury makes them feel inferior, ashamed, and exposed. That usually escalate into conflicts marked by intense and angry outbursts or passive-aggressive tactics, such as the silent treatment. If you have ever had the misfortune of running into a narcissist, especially one who is a malignant narcissist, like they have high pathological narcissist traits or even borderline psychopathy, you already know that they are not nice people. You can give them the world on a platter and they will still kick you in the ass. All right? They're very ungrateful and all they're concerned about is using you for whatever purpose, whether it's fame, money, sex, status, titles, whatever. That's all they're concerned about. And as long as you keep giving them that, they will try to be nice with you, but they will still mistreat you. And when they're done with you, it's time for the narcissist discard. They will kick you to the curb, discard you, like and pretend like you never existed after that. That's how narcissistic people are. So it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, before Meghan kicks Prince Harry fully to the curb. But the devaluation of Prince Harry, I believe, has already begun. And that's something I want to talk about in another video about narcissists' devaluation of their primary partner and the discard of their partner. Okay, so a vulnerable or malignant narcissist in particular will try to get back at you at all costs for anything they perceive as offensive. So basically, if you mess with them, they're going to get back to you. They're going to get back at you. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It could take 10, 15, 20 years. They are vindictive. They are malicious. And they will get you back for it. In Meghan's case, she loves to start a smear campaign and demand apologies for every and any negative thing that's said about her in the press. She'll try to make those who offend her lose their jobs, as we have seen with the British broadcaster Jeremy Clarkson, who reportedly lost a financial deal with Amazon for an article he published about Meghan. I believe Meghan, through her spokesperson, was calling for the Sun newspaper to sack Mr. Clarkson. In other words, don't mess with the deal or no deal bimbo Princess Diana wannabe. She'll have your head on a platter the moment you offend her. There's also rumors that Harry and Meghan may sue South Park. British journalist Neil Sean told Fox News Harry and Meghan's legal team are casting an eye over the episode to see what is wrong and what could be turned into something more sinister. This appears to be their course of action, rather than laughing it off, enjoying the moment, and showing the world that they get the joke. No, they are too stuck up for us. I suppose we will have to wait and see how this plays out. Suing South Park is consistent with what happens when you cause narcissistic rage, narcissistic injury, which is followed by a narcissistic rage in a person who is none other than a narcissist. And in this case, we're talking about none other than Meghan Markle. Notwithstanding, you already know that the producers of South Park would have covered their bases, knowing fully well how much Meghan and Harry love to sue people every chance they get. Whatever happens, people like Meghan Kelly think the couple won't recover from the South Park trashing of their reputation, whatever was left of it, if they ever had one in the first place. Kelly also said, and I quote here, "I feel this is a pronouncement they have jumped the shark. They are not beloved, and her hopes of running for president, reported hopes, are all but dashed." I'm so sorry. You might be wondering why I've said Meghan is a narcissist. I recently published an episode on the 9 narcissist traits noticed in Meghan Markle. Feel free to check it out. Here's a quick recap of the narcissist traits, which are listed in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, known as the DSM-5. Number 1. The individual has an excessive need for attention and admiration, which they'll seek to get a lot of by any means necessary. Number 2, being grandiose with a huge but fragile ego and an exaggerated sense of self-worth. Number 3, having a huge sense of entitlement and always expecting favorable treatment from everyone. Number 4, being obsessed with success, social status, and fame. Narcissist trait number 5. The person believes they are unique, special, or superior over others. Some have a savior mentality or a god complex, like Meghan Markle, who said on the Netflix docuseries that she was specially chosen to modernize the British monarchy. Shut the front door. Number 6. The person lacks empathy. They do selfish things and harm others without thinking twice, without feeling remorse or sorry for those they've harmed. Trait number 7. Narcissists achieve things and get their way through manipulating and exploiting any and everyone, even children, old people, and especially those who are in need or vulnerable. Number 8. They are envious and jealous of other people's success. And number 9, lastly, they are domineering and controlling. They always have to get things their way. Otherwise, they will not play nice. So, there you have it. In my video on Meghan's narcissism, I give real life examples of things she's done to draw similarities to her behaviors and those narcissist traits I just went over. All in all, the way the Duchess responded to the South Park depiction of her is how we expect her to behave. As someone who possesses a fragile ego, craves for admiration, walks around looking down her nose on us, and expects special treatment, she's absolutely unable to deal with the ginormous narcissistic injury caused by the negative depiction of her as a quote-unquote stupid wife and a quote-unquote bitch wife. Actually, South Park came close to simply calling her a quote-unquote stupid bitch. Rumor has it that the show's comments speak to how most people feel about the narcissistic wife of you-know-who, Mr. So-and-so with the ginger hair. Also known as a yacht girl, she wants us to bow down and curtsy to her, not call her out for what she is. Well, I hate to break it to you, Miss Maggie. People are going to continue to call you out for what you are until and unless you start acting right. Because guess what? It's fair game. You are a celebrity. You are a public figure. You are a duchess. You are royalty. You are all these things. You're out there. And you will get mud on your face like everyone else who are celebrities, politicians, and famous people. Click the link at the top right of the screen for my episode on Was Meghan Markle a Yacht Girl, a Jeffrey Epstein yacht girl? So what do you think? Should the Duchess of Sussex laugh it off or fume through her ears and sue South Park's producers? Here's what People magazine posted last evening on whether Harry and Meghan are pursuing legal action against the show. A spokesperson for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex tells People, and I quote, "It's all frankly nonsense, totally baseless, boring reports." Okay, if this is true, the Harkles know they don't have a fighting chance winning a lawsuit against South Park. So this is their way of bowing out gracefully instead of putting up a fight. That's right. Someone was finally able to put these two in their place and show them they are not invincible or untouchable as they think. Somehow though, I feel they won't be able to lose the dumb prince, stupid wife labels, especially since they seem to have reacted poorly to what is simply a comedy joke. It was purely for satire, and the characters are purely fictional. Boy, oh boy, why does this remind me of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock for a stupid joke he made that night of the Oscars. Will Smith is also believed to be a narcissist, by the way. Anyway, that was just a sidebar. I can't wait to hear from you in the comment section. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at True Lies Scandals. It was a pleasure having you here. Be safe and be good to yourself until we chat again on True Lies Scandals.